Fishermen can have love for the truckie. Beautiful minds, but we love getting ugly. Risk takers with a clover, man, we love getting lucky. You run, we chase fire, I love when it ducks me. Tones go off, house watch, read the address out. 1075, get up off the magic couch. 500 gallons prepared for the baddest drought. Who else you want on the way when disaster's out? Can't even get a little bit rattled when you enter with exit apparel. Mayday, member down, they'll drag you. You won't get this from every Tom, Dick, and Harold, but here's a view from the top floor with Mickey Farrell.
Which brings me to running on the Fireground. Now, very debatable, I guess, for some, but I feel the ones that debate this are the ones that don't truly understand it. I believe the fire floor can only be understood backwards. However, it must be calculated forwards. Think about it for a moment now. The details, we're calculating everything we do. So do we run on the Fireground? People say move with a purpose. I don't like that either. Every fire has a different tempo, like we just talked about, and finding that rhythm within the moment is incredibly important. So through some fires, do we have to run? Absolutely. If I'm the fast truck or the RIT team, and I pull up and I hear Mayday for a fireman down, you know damn well I'm running into position. I'm not moving with a purpose. I'm running to save a brother who gave a Mayday. Calculating forwards, though, different story. Those brothers are calculating every moment. They're sizing up and seizing that moment, what to do next. It looks like they're just walking up there. Their mind is 10 steps ahead where they have to be. It's like watching basketball. You're coming down the court and you're controlling the tempo of the game, but you know exactly where everyone's going to be in a moment. We can't rush it because every game has a different tempo. Every fire has a different tempo. So the argument comes to the guys who are always running, right? It's about them. It's always been about them. This whole thing on them, where I'm from, it's always about them, never about me. Now I know there's some administrative mix-up with that, some pushback, but let's not lose sight of them. It's always about them. It's their seconds. Well, calculating my seconds will make me that better when I get to them. Then you say, well, we train to run on the Fireground. We're that good where we can train to run at every fire we go to because it's about them, not you. But now we add real life stress. Your heart rate goes up, you get off the rig, you start running. Heart rate goes higher. We're not seeing things clearly. That's dangerous. So I truly believe when we're training to run on the Fireground, not to run within the tempo of a fire, to just run, regardless of the flow state of that fire, it's a false training narrative. It develops misguided skill sets. And it's a blurred vision of speed versus purpose. The Navy SEALs have a slogan, or a quote, if you will, don't run to your death. Now, I'm not comparing any of us to a Navy SEAL. What I am saying, if they're not running into battle, why are we running anywhere unless that fire tempo is telling us to run within it? Just something to think about when we talk about running or moving with a purpose. Because rational thought lags behind emotional reaction. So when do you guys mask up? On the rig? At the front door? What do you guys do? Front door? Anyone do the rig? Car fires? I mask up, I put my face piece on at the last possible moment, that threshold of crossing over to the other side. This is why. The loop cycle, seeing is not observing. Data intake, done with our eyes, but can be assisted or entirely dependent on other senses as well, depending on the environment. The environment I'm speaking of is stress. A fancy slide to discuss tunnel vision. We put that face piece on far too early because it's about them. It's their seconds. Well, we're losing all these senses. So you're getting off the rig and you're moving to the fire building, running with the face piece on. We're losing the senses of eyesight, hearing someone yell for help, seeing someone hanging out a window, seeing someone that jumped into the bushes. Again, finding that flow state formula, finding the rhythm or tempo of a fire is incredibly, incredibly important. And that's what makes you a professional firefighter. That's what will make you a great firefighter, for understanding where you fit in that moment. So how do we exit the fire building? Now, there's no data intake per se with this. This is more of a pet peeve of mine. We can see a fire. It's out 3, 4, 10 windows. We put it out. And then you see the guy come out of the fire building, a disheveled mess. Square yourself away. Exit the fire building like a professional. And what does a professional do? Well, with the world of social media, all these apps, in New York we have it called the Citizen app. You have that here in this area. Everyone's a news reporter now. It's kind of cool because we're going to fires. If we're going on a second alarm, pull out our phone, pull up Citizen app, we can see the fire before we get there. Pretty neat. That said, everything we do is being documented. Everything we do. So if this is the front door, before you cross that threshold of all the cameras that everyone's watching, I always tell the guys, just take a moment, step aside, pull your bunker pants up, helmet, hood down, face piece off, helmet with a little bit of a tilt, and you walk out like you've been there before. You give the, oh, what's up, bro? You know, what are these, you know? Like a professional. That's how we exit the fire building, because they know that guy just put 9 rooms of fire out.